The first time I saw her, she was standing under a chandelier big enough to light a church, wearing the plainest black dress in the room. You could almost miss her if you weren't paying attention, and that's exactly what they wanted. "Sorry," the blonde in the silver gown said, voice sharp enough to cut glass. "I don't see your name on the list." She tilted her head like she was smelling something off. Her brother started recording on his phone, his mother's pearls swaying as she stepped up to join the attack. "The help should know their place," she said, with this slow, deliberate smile. It wasn't just the words, it was the way the whole Whitmore family closed in, forming a half circle like they were holding court. 2 security guys appeared ready to herd her toward the service elevator. In front of 200 guests, they were telling her exactly where she belonged. But she didn't flinch. She opened her clutch, pulled out an embossed invitation, and handed it over. The guard frowned. It was valid. That should have been the end of it. But Catherine Whitmore leaned in and said, "Sometimes these get copied." Then the thing happened. A business card slid from her clutch to the marble floor. The guard picked it up, read the name Hampton Equity Partners. Most people in the room didn't know it. The live stream audience, though, was blowing up. $50 billion under management. Google it, lady. She looked at the main elevator, then back at them. "I'll wait for this one," she said. "And while I do, I have a few calls to make." Her voice was low, steady, but it made the air feel colder. The CEO, James Sr., narrowed his eyes. "Which department are you from?" "Night cleaning shift," she said without a trace of shame. "And trustee of the National Service Workers Pension Fund. Tonight I'm here as a guest of our partner Meridian." That's when I realized she wasn't just here for champagne and finger food. She had real power, the kind they'd never see coming. She lifted her phone. "Marcus." "It's Tasha. We need to talk about the Meridian partnership." The marble walls carried her words to every corner of the room. James Sr.'s face tightened. The daughter's grip on her glass cracked the stem. "Are you threatening us?" one of them hissed. "No," she said softly. "I'm protecting the capital of hundreds of thousands of workers from reputational risk." The guard's radio crackled. Viewers hit 50,000. She asked Marcus to confirm a clause in the contract, the one that lets them pull $1.2 billion in funding if a partner damages their reputation. "Confirmed," came the reply. She didn't smile, she didn't grandstand. She just said, "Execute the withdrawal immediately." The sound of a champagne flute shattering hit harder than any cheer could have. Victoria, the blonde, gasped. "Withdraw." "What does that mean, Dad?" But she already knew. By Monday morning, the boardroom smelled like fresh coffee and fear. Tasha walked in with 2 lawyers and a restructuring specialist. No gown, no jewelry, just that scratched steel watch on her wrist. She didn't waste time. First, she said, "We suspend the CEO and COO pending investigation into corporate culture." The vote carried. Just like that, Victoria and her brother were out. Second, we adopt the dignity protocol. She laid out 4 pillars: leadership training tied to measurable goals, public dashboards of progress, whistleblower protection, and a $50 million investment in minority-owned suppliers. The company's lawyer tried to stall. Funding source. The restructuring guy flipped a slide cut. PR fluff, renegotiate logistics, diversify suppliers to save 6 to 8% in operating costs. It wasn't idealism, it was math. Patricia Wilson was appointed interim CEO, a woman who spoke in bullet points, not slogans. Her first act was a listening tour hitting every factory, warehouse and kitchen in the company. Tasha went with her. In Ohio, they found a press machine with a faulty safety latch, fixed in a day. In Texas, a dryer that bruised workers' hands, added a vibration pad before the next shift. In the kitchens, they changed produce suppliers to cut waste. And here's the kicker: every KPI, safety training hours, supplier diversity was tied directly to management bonuses. Miss the target, you lose the bonus. Let safety decline and your bonus goes negative. The penthouse, once a stage for charity galas, became the venue for dignity dialogues. No cocktails, no velvet ropes, just workers, managers, even the disgraced execs sitting in a circle talking about language reflexes, the little things that cut people down without anyone noticing. Use that door was banned from policy manuals. Signs that once read staff only now just said everyone. It wasn't all smooth. An anonymous report accused a manager of retaliation. Tasha didn't explode. She opened the protocol, put the whistleblower under protection, and sent the manager to training with a 90-day monitor. "We fix behavior," she said, "not humiliate people." The $50 million supplier fund started signing deals with Latina-owned logistics, Black-owned manufacturers, Native-owned component makers. Contracts had teeth performance clauses, penalty triggers, all race-neutral and numbers-driven to dodge legal landmines. Months in the first Dignity report went public. No glossy photos, no marketing fluff, just charts, workplace accidents down, operating costs, trimmed promotions for frontline workers up. Some investors called it woke nonsense. One even hung a banner at the shareholders' meeting. Harrison, the board chair, didn't have them thrown out. He invited them to ask questions. That's when a safety alarm went off at the Georgia plant, an ammonia leak. Before they might have pushed through to meet the shipping deadline. This time workers stopped the line, evacuated, called in the safety crew. No injuries, no drama, just procedure. Patricia stood at the mic. "That's dignity," she said. "The right to stop the line to protect human beings." Tasha stepped up after. "When you give workers that right, you shrink the odds of the accident you swore would never happen, but always does somewhere." By the 1-year mark, the company had steady margins, accident rates still dropping, and a growing list of internal promotions. The Dignity Protocol became mandatory policy audited by a third party. The funny thing, the Whitmores didn't vanish. Catherine started a microfund for Black women entrepreneurs. Mark Jr. recorded conversations with warehouse staff, tying each episode to a KPI. Victoria, the former CEO, was seen in the warehouse learning chemical safety sheets from the janitorial team. None of them were forgiven in some grand gesture, they were just doing the work. Outside the company, other pension funds were asking for the protocol. People called it the Tasha effect. A janitor trustee turning a night of humiliation into a set of gears. Safety, respect, efficiency that kept turning long after the headlines faded. One night I saw her in the marble penthouse again, pushing a floor scrubber. The main elevator doors open, no service sign in sight. Rosa from the night shift left a box of tamales on the counter. Derek, the security guard who once would have sent her to the side door, held the elevator open. She stepped in gloves, still on that scratched watch ticking. Keep the process she'd written on the bulletin board. Keep the people. Keep the promise. And I swear the whole building seemed to stand a little straighter. So, here's my question for you. If you were in her place, would you have pulled that billion-dollar deal or let it slide to keep the peace? Drop your thoughts below, because dignity in business isn't just her fight. It's everybody's.